DA got that dope.
Synthetic division is a quick way to divide two polynomials. This works when the divisor has a degree of 1 with a leading coefficient of 1 written in the form x minus b. Examples of divisors include x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, etc.
So the divisor has a degree that's greater than 1, so like here, or the leading coefficient is greater than 1, then we would not suggest using synthetic division, as long division would be easier to use for these two types of divisors. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the divisor to equal 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. And if you solve for that, you get x minus 3. And you're going to put that over here. Okay? And then with rules in mind, we need to get the coefficients of this and write it here. So you can see there's no x to the power of 2 value. So we're just going to set it as 0. So 1, 0, 7, and negative 4. So you can see here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag this down. So draw an arrow, bring this to 1. So now what we're going to do is multiply this by this and put it over into this section. So minus 3. And then we're going to use the addition and add these two. Right? And then we're just going to repeat it. So negative 3, 9, that's 16. And then 16 times negative 3 equals negative 48, which then becomes 52. Okay? So from here, we have to figure out what each of these numbers represents. So going from right to left, this starts off as the remainder. This value over here represents a constant. And then it goes x1 and then x2. So that's our answer. So there's two ways to write it. So from here we know it's x to the 2 minus 3x plus 16 with the remainder of negative 52. Pause it. So after synthetic division, we know that when we divide this by the divisor of x plus 3, we get this. So there's two ways to write your answer. So the first is called quotient form. So it goes a little like this. You write the dividend over the divisor, and you set that to equal your answer, so x squared minus 3x plus 16, and then you put your remainder over your divisor, so minus 52 over x plus 3. So this is how you'd write your answer in quotient form. So the other method is to write a multiplication statement. So you put your dividend that you set that to equal x squared minus 3x plus 16, and you write it like that. But then you multiply that by your divisor, so x plus 3, and then you just write your remainder as is, so minus 52. So you can see here the quotient form and the multiplication statement. So you can actually use this to check this to make sure your answer is right. So if you're actually to break up this equation into its simplest forms, you can see that this would equal this. So here I'm going to go over a couple common mistakes that you should not do because it'll just mess up your answer, and that no one wants that. So first thing, you have to make sure you put your symbols over here just so you remember what to do. So multiplication symbol here, addition symbol here. So another thing is, x plus 3, when you set the divisor to 0, make sure that you actually set it to 0, so x plus 3 equals 0, and then solve for x from there. Don't just write this 3 here, because if you write the 3 here, it's going to mess up your whole answer, and it'll give you the wrong answer. Okay, so just make sure that you actually solve for the divisor and make sure you know what x is equal to when set to 0. So the next common mistake is when you're writing the coefficient from your dividend, when there's something missing like an x squared for this one. Sorry, not x to the 3. X squared, okay? You have to make sure that you set it to 0. You write the coefficient as 0 as indicated in the rules. So let's say you forgot to do that and you write 1, 7, -4. It's going to throw off your answer. You have to make sure you write the 0 in order for you to get the correct answer.